Hey, too many conversations feel like an interrogation instead of a connection and a conversation. In step four of the art of inquiry for franchise development, I'm going to show you how to ask questions with curiosity, with more empathy, so people really open up instead of what they're doing to you right now, which is shutting down. You're not going to want to miss this.
This is the Franchise Pitfalls and Profit Show. Each week, we bring you the challenges and triumphs of being in the franchise development and consulting business. The things you need to make money faster. And now your host, one of the most successful franchise developers in North America, Don Shin.
Hey, welcome back. We're in the Art of Inquiry for Franchise Development series here on Franchise Pitfalls and Profits podcast. And over the last few episodes, we've been unpacking what looks like how to slow down, how to listen more deeply, just how to build trust in the franchise development conversations. And honestly, you can use this in any sales, and frankly, you can use this in any personal relationships that make a difference to you or that matter to you. So a quick reminder as to how I came about this particular series. I was at the Global Leadership Summit 2025 a couple of months back, and John Maxwell was one of the presenters, and he said something that just really struck with me. He used the phrase mastering the art of inquiry, that if you wanted to be a more interesting person and a more trusted person, you needed to master the art of inquiry. You know, he was talking about life and general relationships. He was talking about how people that ask great questions, who are genuinely interested in others and curious about others, they end up being the most engaging and the most trusted and the most excited and interesting people in the room. So sitting there, I just thought about, what if I applied this same idea to franchise development? And what if I stopped striving for transactions and really got to know people better? Really put people first and the deal second. So that's what birthed this art of inquiry concept for franchise development. So now we're going to dive into step four, which is quite simply ask, don't interrogate. This is a step that's going to blend all of the three earlier skills together. They're going to pull it into the moment of actually asking questions. What we're going to talk about today is to stay curious, but without making people feel weird about it, and without letting people walk away from feeling like they've been under a microscope, or in my old 60s and 70s cop shows, got that burning light flashed on you and you're in kind of a police interrogation. We want to help people feel like they're not getting peppered with questions. Again, that it's really a conversation. So I'm going to give you a simple conversation flow that's going to help you go deeper, get more, be more empathetic, and create more trusting relationships. Before we do that, I want to go back through and just kind of wrap up all of what we've been talking about in these last few episodes. So step one was to stay curious longer. Hoping you remember this one, because it's all about fighting that instinct to solve a problem too quickly. Most salespeople hear one clue and bam, they're jumping straight to the fix. They're jumping straight to their answers, and they fail to hear all of what somebody said. The best conversations, the ones where trust actually begins to form, happen when you stay in a question mode longer. It feels more natural. And again, it allows you to be more curious and make the person feel more comfortable. The second step was to focus on others, not yourself. And this is really a mindset shift. Candidates pick up on whether you see them whether they are human to you, whether they're a real person to you, or whether you're just looking to close a deal. They see if you're the salesperson and not a person. Putting the focus on their goals is huge. Putting the focus on their fears, helping them develop what they're feeling because they don't often articulate this. Helping people frame up and painting the pictures of their dreams. This completely changes the tone of the conversation. So that was step 2, focus on others first, in particular, not yourself or not your brand as well. And then the third step was to listen beyond the words. Here we started talking about listening being an active skill, not something that's passive. Active listening works, and you're listening for more of the emotions. You're listening for not being said. So, are they hesitating in any way? You're looking for the things that they're not saying, they're not articulating, because often what someone avoids telling you is more important than what they actually say out loud. So all of this is going to set the stage now for today's step 4, ask, don't interrogate. Because if we do this, the first 3 things well, then the questions we ask now feel safe. They feel empathetic. The person feels like a person. They feel human. They don't feel like a sales or deal object. And again, they're not feeling like this is some police type investigation. They're having a conversation with a trusted friend. So that's step 4, what we're going to dive into now. Again, asking, not interrogating. So what does that look like? What I see as the problem with most of us is that too many franchise development calls just really feel like an interview checklist. Don't get me wrong, I believe in scripts. In fact, have taught for a long time to have checklists for each one of your calls, but you don't want your questioning to feel like, okay, I asked that one, I asked that one, okay, I got this last one to ask you. It's not rapid fire like, hey, what's your budget for this? When can you start? Why do you want to be in this business? Those are just too transactional and surface, and your candidates feel like they're being qualified. Candidates give shorter and shorter answers when you're constantly peppering them with questions. They feel like they're under that interrogation bulb. They feel like they're under a spotlight instead of having a real conversation with another real person. And a result of this is that they shut down emotionally, even though they answered your questions politely. They start to feel again like they're a sales object and you're striving to make a deal. And when this shuts down, the trust really shuts down, or at a very minimum, the trust is eroding quickly. Reminder, 80% of a sale is made on emotion. So you can't lose this early. And that's why, candidly, this step matters so much. So I want you to make another mindset shift here. Questions aren't about gathering data. They're about building connection and trust. Let me say that again. Questions aren't about gathering information or data. They're about building connection with your candidates and building trust. When you ask with curiosity, with interest, real interest, genuine interest, with empathy, your questions are signaling to your candidates that you're here to understand them, particularly first. You want to see the world as they see it through their eyes. You're communicating to them that this is a safe place to explore what matters to them, to help things bubble up out of your conversations that will truly help you find the best fit not just another brand in your portfolio. And this is completely different type of asking than the qualifying type of asking that we typically do to make the deal. So here's the conversation flow that I'm going to share with you. And I hope this simplifying kind of a structure will help you. This is all I do. This is why I do what I do is I want to give you practical ways, simple ways that are going to help you little by little be better at what you do. I just had a response to one of my previous last week's actual episode, and it was all about the comment was all about the fact that someone could really use these things that I was sharing, and so I want to make them simple but applicable. So again, so you can take things away from each and every one of my episodes. So here we go. The conversation flow that I've now created that I really want to develop for you here. Here it is. Reflect, then label, and then ladder. It's a simple 3-step flow that keeps your questions feeling like they're more of a curious nature than an interrogation. Again, I want to help you get better and better at this little by little. I actually want to help you be professional and become a professional at what you do. So many people are doing this kind of half-hearted, kind of halfway. And a different conversation that I had from one of my posts recently was that they felt like they were an amateur, and my podcast, not my post, but my podcast was helping them become more professional. And that's what I want for you. So here's, again, a simple flow, 3 steps that I believe will really make an impact on your very next candidate. So let's, again, reflect, label, and ladder. Let's start looking at these. Reflect. This is where you repeat or you kind of paraphrase what they've just said to you. It comes from active listening, but here's a quick example. It sounds like this matters to you because you want more control over your schedule. This reflection makes people feel safe. It makes them feel heard. It lets them know you're understanding them. And for you, whether you really did understand them, a big piece is this lets people build and expand on what they just thought through as their answer and what they just told you. It's all good if you care about the fit and not the brand. All right, second piece is label. So now you name what you think is going on the surface. So it could be something like, hey, it seems like you're wrestling with freedom versus security. That labeling shows understanding, it shows empathy, it shows caring. What you're saying to them is, hey, I get what you might be feeling. It's tentative, which is good, because if it's tentative, not as in weak, but tentative, as in it can be tweaked, it can be modified, it can be built upon. It stops short of the fix. So many times we want to jump in with a conclusion about what they said or jump in with a fix to what they said. This labeling makes it more real. And again, they feel more human. They feel like a real person. So reflect, label, and then ladder. Ladder is the final piece. Asking a question that just climbs down deeper into their story. Something like, what led you to that conclusion? Or maybe you say something like, how long have you been feeling this way? The latter helps you take them to the real emotion, gets to the backstory behind their decisions, or at a minimum, behind the kinds of things that they are sharing. So I want to pause for a second and really just illustrate what I'm talking about. Let me walk through the whole thing all together. the reflect, the label, and the ladder. So the candidate says something like, "Hey, I'm just kind of nervous about leaving my job." So your reflection would be, "Hey, it sounds like this matters because your job feels stable, even if it's unfulfilling." And then you pause, you listen, you let them comment. Uh, they comment. So your label could be, "Well, it seems like you're weighing freedom against security." Pause, listen. And then your ladder would be something like, "What's led you to start thinking like this? What led you to thinking about business ownership in the first place? Why, not rudely, why are we here, but why are we talking about business ownership when you seem to be really, really focused on security in your job?" Do you hear that difference? It's not an interrogation, it's curiosity, it's caring, it's empathy for them as a person. Before you're thinking about a deal or a brand or anything else like that. So, practical tips here, really, really quickly. Quick tips for using this flow. Slow down, slow your pace. A calm tone makes the conversations safe. So slow your pace. Another practical tip is to ask a single question at a time and then listen. Be quiet. Silence and the time frames, and I encourage you to time yourself for 5 seconds and 10 seconds and see how long it feels, but in reality it's 5 or 10 seconds. The way this works is to let silence work for you. So you need to ask a question. Don't stumble around. Okay, didn't answer the answer. Oh, here's another question. Ask one question, be quiet, and listen. And then the third practical step is simply affirm them. Affirm what they're sharing. Something as simple as, that really makes sense. Or, hey, I get that. These affirming statements helps them, it validates people. And again, it really, really builds up your trust or your trust with them. So let me start to wrap up where we are then. I want to close off the series that we've been in, which is the art of inquiry for franchise development. Let me pull it all together for you and kind of give you some call to actions here. I want you to, step one, stay curious longer. Don't rush to show them brands if you're a broker. Don't rush to pitch your concept if you're the Fran Dev rep. Let the conversation evolve, breathe. Again, make it a conversation about two people, not a brand presentation right away, or not pushing to rush off to the transaction or what would start to build the transaction. Second step is to focus on others. Put the others first. Don't focus on yourself. Don't focus on your brand. Make the candidate the hero of the story, not you. Don't make it all about you and your brand. There'll be a time for that. But out of the gates, focus on others. Third step was to listen beyond the words. This is where you hear emotion. You're not just trying to gather data or information. You want to listen. You want to see the hesitations. Listen for hesitation. Listen for what they might not be telling you as the add-on to a statement, but listen beyond just the words. And then step four, after staying curious longer, focusing on others, and listening beyond words, you want to ask, don't interrogate. You want to use my simple system of reflect, label, and ladder. It will blend your empathy, it'll blend in your caring. It will let people feel like the most important thing that there is to you. So if you master these 4 steps in your franchise development conversation, and honestly, in any relationships in your life, things will dramatically change for you. Your results in Fran Dev are going to completely be different. People will feel safe, they will feel understood, they will feel respected, and they will feel heard. All of those will lead to more business for you. So let me close simply by saying the biggest takeaway should be helping people feel heard and human and safe. When they open up, you will finally see what's really driving them, or the reins on the horse that's holding them back. That's where trust lives, and that's how better decisions are made for everybody. So take this away from today's final session in the series on the art of inquiry for franchise development. And now, again, as I always ask you, if this series has helped you, share it with someone, forward it to someone, anyone who needs better conversations in life. Share this particular episode with them. Because the truth is, when we slow down and when we listen deeply, when we ask curiously and with caring and empathy, we don't just close more deals, we open more doors to real connection. And again, before I close, again, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, pass this on to someone else. Ask me some questions. Give us a like on our episodes. And then the last thing is, I just like to leave always what's behind everything that I do, my heart. And it's that franchising isn't just about signing new deals. It's really about people finding the right fit. It's about helping them with the mindset shift and stepping into real business ownership and doing it responsibly. It's about building businesses that have impacts on families and communities and on everybody's future. Because when this is done right, it changes lives for generations. And for me, this all ties back to my faith. As in the book of Acts in the Bible, it said David served God's purpose in his own generation. And that's my purpose too. I want to serve well in my generation, but I also want to create a multi-generational impact. I want to change the lives of my grandchildren's grandchildren, all along the way, bringing glory to the God that I serve. That's what I do, and that is why I do it. Thanks for joining me.